everybody, Assalamualaikum. Thank you so much for watching our very first episode of Project Podcast X Shock Kolaborasi bersama Miasa Malaysia. It is a podcast where we are highlighting things on the brand new Astro Originals, which is Project Exit. I'm sure you all semua dah tengok kan. The first few episodes ni memang best, sampai kita rasa macam best dan juga educational at the same time, and that's one thing I love about Astro Originals. But there's always something that we can learn from it kan. Dan hari ini memandangkan topik kita pun agak berat ya. Dan bukan hari ini punya episod sahaja, tapi semua episod untuk Project Podcast X Shock Kolaborasi bersama Miasa Malaysia, kerana semuanya berlandaskan kesihatan mental or mental health. So today I'm joined by two wonderful individuals. Kita bersama dengan Puan Anita Abu Bakar, founder and president of Miasa Malaysia. Puan Anita, apa khabar?
Baik, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Kino macam mana?
Sihat juga Puan Anita, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Dan sebelah Puan Anita pula, we have the beautiful girl that's playing the role of Jannah in Project Exit, Shasha Abdul.
Hello, hi, Assalamualaikum.
Salam. How are you, Shasha?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
I'm honestly really scared to carry this conversation because we all have seen the show. We all know she not only has seen it, but she's played the role of the main character some more, and it's a very heavy show, kan? Now, in every episode, we're going to break down the themes that I would say are very important in those episodes. So let's say episode 1, if you guys have already watched it, you could see that Jannah nak break free, masuk sekolah insan terus nak keluar dan sebagainya. We will talk about it in the very first episode. That is why topik kita hari ini adalah Breaking Free, Berani Untuk Minta Tolong. Jadi, takut juga ni, because when it comes to mental health, I think it's very complex kan Puan Anita?
Betul, sangat.
Kita nak seek help, nak break free pun is not something that we can wake up and feel like, you know what, I nak pergi jumpa doktor hari ni.
Betul.
It's very complicated.
Betul.
Jadi sebagai pengerusi dan juga founder Miasa Malaysia, Puan Anita, let's talk about breaking free. How easy do you think it is for the young ones out there to actually seek help when it comes to mental health?
Okay, thank you, Kino. I think in today's world it's much easier, most definitely, because resources are more readily available, kan? Kalau kita dulu ataupun zaman saya, itu memang agak sukar. Tapi ini juga bergantung. Kalau kita di bandar-bandar besar ataupun now we're in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, obviously the services are more available here.
Yeah.
Okay. Jadi kalau kita dekat kawasan luar bandar ataupun kita dekat kampung-kampung, sudah tentu sukar dan susah.
Yeah.
Because it's very limited. Dia terhadkan sebenarnya. Tetapi having said that, to break free from a mental health challenge, cabaran kesihatan mental, Kino pun tahu, Shasha pun pasti tahu, ni bukan sesuatu yang mudah. Satu, stigma tinggi.
Yeah.
Bila ada stigma, sudah tentu adanya diskriminasi. Itu societal ya, itu luaran. Dalaman tu kita sendiri bila tahu ini tanggapan umum, kita sendiri malu, kita sendiri takut. So how do you break free? That is the difficult question sebenarnya. Adalah dengan banyak perkara. Satu is knowledge lah, of course kan. Tapi knowledge pun tak boleh hadir, Kino, Shasha, kalau tak ada awareness.
Betul.
So awareness ni sebenarnya yang penting. And we see now lots of awareness going on. Maka kita sendiri ni, kekuatan kita tu adalah daripada sokongan dekat luar sana. So that's why, hence why, dengan kisah ataupun series Project Exit ni, that awareness when it happens, subhanallah, kita boleh normalize it. It goes out in the open. So now people feel braver and encouraged, hopefully, to reach out for the help.
I love that. And that's why thank you to Miasa Malaysia. Banyak efforts yang telah pun dijalankan oleh Miasa sepanjang bertahun-tahun ni kan, untuk membantu terutamanya mereka yang agak takut untuk mendapat pertolongan. Takut.
Bukan agak takut tu.
Dan kita pun tahu. Kita tahulah perasaan ni. It's not like kita simply macam maybe people are scared. We know it kan. Statistically proven juga.
Betul.
Shasha.
When
I watched the first episode, I gotta say, it was triggering. For me, it wasn't triggering, but it just brought me back to painful moments in my own life. You know, your first scene itself. Because we all know that when you are trapped, you want to leave, but where do you want to go to? Kan kita macam, aku nak lari, tapi kesakitan tu datang dari diri sendiri. I run away pergi Bangkok ke mana ke, like the feeling follows me. Masa Shasha tengok first episode semula, you know, you acted out all the scenes and all that. What was something that you took out from that first episode?
What is something that I took out from that first episode? Okay, for me, the first episode, it was obviously the pilot episode yang I hope that bila audience tengok, they understand dulu the first episode. before we could go on to the second episode, because the first episode is really important because it's the only just the surface of what's going to happen later. So to understand what's happening in the first episode is so important.
They set the context kan.
Yes.
Very important.
And kita terus nampak yang Jannah memang dia rasa helpless. Dia rasa macam parents I tak kisah pasal I. You know, sampai dia nak mencederakan diri sendiri. Even lepas failed attempt pun dia rasa macam alah kau kena faham aku pun. All the monologue Jannah masa tu kan. Kenapa you rasa Jannah tu susah sangat nak reach out for help, especially dengan parents dia sendiri?
Faham. Okay, I think to be in Jannah's position, for a teenager yang memang in that position of, in that state of whatever she is going through, I rasa there's no way out. Dah tak boleh nampak jalan keluar at that time, because suara-suara yang bermain di atas, all the emotions that she's going through and whatnot, is just, as a teenager nak rasa apa and nak seek help pun macam mana. Tak tahu how, tak tahu dengan family punya condition lagi. So it plays everything lah.
Do you think that it could also be that masa Jannah kecil, every time they complain pasal whatever she was going through, parents tak pernah dengar dia. Then the result, bila dah besar, bila dah go through something lagi critical macam tu, you rasa macam there's no point. Parents I takkan dengar pun.
Which I rasa yes, because I think Jannah growing up, she tries to understand what her parents is going through juga, and because of mak dia yang mak dia is protective. She's not trying to tell everything to Jannah because of a reason juga, to protect Jannah. But Jannah tak boleh nak faham, tak faham benda tu sebab dia belum faham. Dia belum faham, and ambil masa untuk dia faham bila dia dah jumpa kawan-kawan dia, and then dia dah sit down betul-betul think it through, dan macam dia baru faham apa mak dia buat.
And itu berlaku dengan ramai anak-anak muda sebenarnya.
Betul. I think for teenagers, yalah biasalah kita dah melaluikan fasa tu di mana kita selalu rasa kita betul, parents kita salah. Tapi dalam watak Jannah tu sendiri, I mean when we look at the context tu kan banyak sebenarnya kan Kino Shasha yang berlaku because keadaan keluarga, situasi ibu bapa saling bergaduh. So the unhealthy environment tu Jannah dah nampak daripada dia kecil. Kemudian bila dia kehilangan bapa dia pun tak faham kan pada waktu tu kan Kino, kalau kita nampak perjalanan tu di mana bapa ada, bapa tak ada, ke mana pergi bapa, lepas tu bapa meninggal, you know those kind of things. Then kemudian dia merasa tidak didengari lah Kino, of course to your point tadi kan. Jadi bila kita rasa terus menerus tidak didengari, lama-lama kita pun close. Kita pun tak akan terbuka untuk nak berkongsi, because what is the point sebenarnya. Betul. Jadi ini yang banyak sangat berlaku. And then lama-lama bila Jannah tak boleh nak meluahkan, she is not going to understand Kino. Dia tak boleh nak proses benda tu. So inilah trauma yang is hidden. Trauma tu kita pegang di dalam diri kita.
Dia macam tersimpul kan. Dia tiba dalam hati dan dekat in our mind juga. Kita macam, how are we ever going to solve it if we don't talk about it?
Exactly.
It's all in our head.
Betul. And you have no answers, and then you don't have a safe space for you to nak meluahkan. Jadi ini yang berlaku sebenarnya kepada Jannah. Dan tiba-tiba with her attempt tu, dia dimasukkan ke sekolah akhlak tu, di sana sama juga. Jadi dia tak tahu macam mana, walaupun dia ada kawan-kawan dan sahabat, tapi that was a process for her. Dan dalam episod pertama, selepas attempted suicide Jannah, dia dimasukkan dalam, I don't know, is that like, dia dipenjarakan sementara, what do you call that, macam kena reman macam tu kan? Betul. Jadi saya agak terkejut sebab I'm just curious, memang macam tu ke Puan Anita? Itu dulu.
Sampai sekarang ke?
Bukan dulu lah. Maknanya kita baru saja repealed. Tapi sebelum ni memang betul. So if you attempt suicide tetapi tidak mati, maka you are treated, lack of a better word, as a criminal lah.
Sebab you nak buat jenayah pada diri sendiri.
Betul.
It's the same as macam kadang-kadang you nak membunuh orang, ni nak bunuh diri sendiri.
Betul.
Tu masa I tengok tu, I rasa macam, ya Allah, instead of doing that, you should get them help.
Betul, because they are unwell. Tapi that comes back to stigma kan Kino. Sebab kita tidak faham ataupun kurang faham yang sebenarnya orang yang berjuang dengan penyakit mental ni sebenarnya are unwell. Bayangkan because of the trauma, that leads to suicide ataupun the attempt, kita tak faham yang dia banyak faktor yang menyumbang.
Like siapa je senang-senangnya nak
bangun pagi nak buat macam tu. Betul.
Exactly. And yet orang boleh komen macam kau ni apa benda lah, and you know, kadang-kadang orang judgement, and then will use macam ni neraka terus.
Betul.
Don't throw words like that.
Betul. Sebab
Nobody
kita
will do it simply like that.
Betul. Sebab kita ni ingat kita Tuhan. Kita nak buat kerja Tuhan. Jadi ini yang berlaku sebenarnya. Tapi kita kena datang daripada a place of empathy and compassion.
Empathy sangat penting.
Betul.
Sebab kita berlawan dengan penyakit yang kita tak nampak.
Betul. And kita tak minta apa benda tu. You know? Dia macam kalau it's a physical wound, orang nampak darah tu, dia would immediately, ya Allah, anak aku tengah berdarah, bawa pergi hospital. Bila kita berperang dengan kepala kita sendiri, with all the negative thoughts, you know, it's like a mental prison. Kita rasa macam, kenapa tak ada siapa kisah pasal aku?
Betul.
And it's scary.
And it's also very catastrophic kan sebenarnya. Because dia punya analogy dia macam your brain is trying to kill you lah. Macam tu. And every single day having to go through that. And I really like Takino bila actually Shasha punya portrayal of Jannah tu, sebab kita nampak Jannah punya POV tu. So you keep on, you know, because ni mental noise is very real and mental noise is terrible. Kat sini noisy yang amat sangat. Lepas tu orang lagi bercakap dengan kita. Lepas tu orang menghukum. So I like the portrayal of that noise tu. Sebab itu kebenaran. Itulah sebenarnya yang berlaku.
Kita macam get inside your head juga.
Yes, we are like in your head. That's what it is.
I call it the monkey business.
The monkey business. Okay. Monkey.
Sebab it's banyak kan?
Banyak. Betul.
Tak tahu mana satu yang sense so noisy.
Yes. And then the manifestation tu lagi satu, from the noise, and then the result dia tu ke mana. Dan kita nampak jelas, walaupun agak triggering di situ, tapi itulah kebenaran yang berlaku.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. Betul.
Sampai bila kita nak hide the truth? Nak cakap pasal mental health, takkan nak asyik surface saja, then people will never understand.
Faham.
Especially the adult sometimes, you know. But honestly nowadays, bukan sekadar adults tak faham. I rasa kadang generasi kita pun ada yang tak faham.
Betul.
And you're like, we're supposed to be in the same generation. Macam mana you boleh kata, I had a friend who literally said this to me, but I told him that I want to see a psychiatrist. Kawan aku kawan aku gila rupanya in front of me, thinking it was a joke.
Betul.
I dah tidak berkawan dengan individu tu lagi dah. Tak boleh dah. I rasa macam it's insensitive.
Yes. Don't minimize the pain, especially if you don't understand it.
Yes.
Ini kita punya cabaran kita lah, Kino kan.
Itulah.
We do better. We try to do better.
Tapi I pernah came across a person yang I memang tak kenal dia. I was in the hospital. I asked her, and she asked me, what is it like to have anxiety attack or panic attacks, or even depression. Pasal I pandang dia, tak pernah dapat ke?
Because you assume that everyone has felt it before.
And then macam tak, with like that sincere smile, tak, saya tak tahu rasa dia macam mana. I was shocked. Sebab circle kita kan, kita dah biasa cakap pasal benda ni, isu ni. To meet someone yang tak tahu apa rasa tu, it's something else.
Oh, interesting.
Something else. Macam ada orang macam ni.
So does that mean that ada orang kat luar sana yang mungkin tak akan dapat anxiety attack seumur hidup mereka, ke tak sedar pun sometimes?
Anxiety attack, I would say a little bit difficult. Tapi mungkin panic attack, mungkin tak semua orang akan lalui lah. Tapi anxiety attack mungkin lah, sebab kita semua
nervous
tentulah,
pun dah consider anxiety attack.
Anxiety, nervous, overwhelmed, bimbang, resah, gelisah kan. Benda-benda tu semua. And then you know your negative thoughts dan sebagainya, bila dia spiral. So you can go through maybe an anxiety attack. Tapi panic attack, not really lah. Kino.
And it's not a good thing to go through.
No, not at all.
Tak pernah merasa panic attack, kami tidak recommend ini pada anda semua. Bersyukur je lah. Now back to pada attempted suicide tadi. Mungkin Puan Anita boleh share the statistics of attempted suicide di Malaysia setakat ini.
Kalau kita nak tengok attempted suicide ni, kita ada data untuk dia macam ni. Dulu kita ada suicide registry. Tetapi 2008-2009 we have stopped recording it, ataupun MOH dah stop recording it, and so now diorang nak revive balik lah the registry, which diorang dah revive, tapi data tu sekarang ni apa yang kita ada masih raw data lah kita panggil. Okay, apa yang kita ada based on the National Health and Morbidity Survey yang untuk adolescents lah. So adolescents dalam survey ni is not 10 to 19 because that is the definition of adolescents.
Okay.
Tetapi dalam the survey is sekolah menengah. So 13 hingga 17 tahun.
Okay.
So we're looking at 1 in 10 sebenarnya Kinu. 1 in 10, okay? Attempt suicide. Okay, kalau kita tengok kepada statistics suicide pagi 2019, okay, kita nampak the increase from 2019 to 2023. Bermula dengan 601, kemudian 621, kemudian 2021 1142. It doubled
because it was PKP,
because it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
Kalau kita ingat pada masa tu media banyak buat laporan
yes.
And then 2022 981 and 2023 1087. So kalau kita nampak secara average 1000 sebenarnya yang orang kata mengakhiri kehidupan melalui bunuh diri. This is a worrying number ya. Jangan ingat and jangan kata kecil. It's actually huge. And that will be reflected in orang yang ada isu kesihatan mental, kalau tak dijaga boleh menjadi penyakit mental. Dan penyakit mental kalau kita tak dapat orang kata approach yang holistik ya. Maknanya semua komponen is covered. Then of course kalau you get depression as an example, salah satu simptom sudah tentu ya suicidal thoughts. So very very real.
That's a big number actually kan.
It is a big number.
Tapi itu attempted suicide, meaning they were managed to be saved or managed to be saved dan dihantar ke tempat pemulihan.
Pergi kepada proses rawatan. So proses rawatan tu could be pergi jumpa pakar, pergi mendapatkan sokongan, memperbetulkan gaya hidup, menimba ilmu, do things that you like, you know, memperbetulkan gaya hidup kinu kan. Syasha ni benda paling penting. Okay, this is fundamental dan asas. Okay, tidur malam tadi pukul berapa?
1. Kita bertiga balik lambat semalam daripada projek punya premier.
Itulah dia. Tapi sekali-sekala tak apa. Tapi don't make it a habit.
Jangan normalize benda tu kan.
No, not at all.
You see, I feel like antara punca we see a lot of adolescents out there who are attempting such things is because they feel like they don't have an outlet, they don't have people to talk to dan sebagainya kan. Untuk Syasha sendiri, why do you think people our age find it hard to not just reach out to our families tapi to even reach out to our friends? Padahal of course, you know, kita ni member-member yang keluar lepak, you know, oh my god, you watch this movie yet? Oh my god, hantar TikTok. But when it comes to the serious stuff, mental health, because even I pun rasa susah, berat to even type it to them. Padahal they should care about us.
Faham. Okay.
Why?
I think it's really important as a person juga untuk mainkan a big role for ourselves to actually reach out to people when it comes to this issue. Sebab kita tak boleh nak mengharapkan orang datang kat kita. Kita yang kena reach out to people. Macam imagine you're drowning. Orang bagi life.
Takkan rope tu datang daripada langit.
Yes. You macam tu, you obviously you kena orang nampak. So
that's a good
dalam isu ni pun, dalam bila kita bercakap pasal benda ni, we have to choose the right circle satu. Betul. The right person to talk to about this issue. Sebab not everyone can understand what you're going through. Sebab kalau you bercakap dengan orang yang tak faham macam mana you nak ni, the message doesn't deliver. And second, obviously orang tu pun kena go through apa yang kita went through a bit. At least ada that
dia faham lah.
Dia faham. And also third, obviously orang tu kena, orang yang kita bercakap with kena ada empathy. Kena ada that empathy, you know.
And what happens if we reach out to the wrong people by accident? We thought kita boleh harapkan this person, you know, maybe this person of all people in my circle would understand me.
Betul.
Invalidate your emotions. Macam mana tu wanita?
Betul. When that happens, itu yang buatkan kita tak nak ada pergi mendapatkan bantuan dan pertolongan. See, this is what happens when, as an example, like, you know, you go and see a doctor. The doctor does not validate you.
That happened to me, Puan Anita.
I know, very common.
Dia tak nak cakap apa. Sorry, Puan Anita. Just to share to everybody out there. I'm not going to burukkan this therapist, okay? But he said this to me. Tutup mata you. I was like, okay. Think about your family. Do you want them to see you sad and depressed? I was like, no. I was like, of course not. Exactly. So, it's time to be better. What does that mean, Puan Anita?
Betul. This is, you know, the upside to this is empathy can be learned. Jadi belajarlah pasal empathy. You know why? Because empathy ni, orang selalu bayangkan empathy ni putting ourselves in the person's shoes.
Right.
Okay, which is true.
Yeah.
Tapi itu satu komponen je of empathy.
Betul.
Komponen yang kedua adalah you must feel deeply. You must feel it before you think first. Betul? And ini selalu berlaku kepada wanita lah. Sebab wanita kita kan empath. Kita lebih beremosi cepat emo, betul. So kalau Kinu berkongsi, kita akan terus rasa sedih because we feel first, right, before we think. In that sense, itu penting. Itu komponen empathy tau. And the third component of empathy is having the ability to sense what that person needs from us. Itulah
do they just want to be heard or listen, or do they want my advice?
Betul.
Kan setengah orang, you clearly just want to rant. You just luah. Tapi dia kata, tak, sebab kau tak ni, sebab itulah kau kena kurangkan guna phone. Like, this is not the right time for that.
Betul. And also yang paling penting adalah, macam Syasha katakan tadi, kita yang mengalaminya, you must know how to communicate your needs. Itu penting. So kita kena meet halfway tau. Orang ni dah penuh empathy dah, tapi kita pula tak tahu nak communicate the needs. How? So tak boleh. So kita kena tahulah, take risks.
Should we ask them first? Contoh macam, okay, do you want my advice or do you just want me to listen?
Boleh, you can do that as well. That's fine. Tapi orang tu typically dia tak nak advice.
Kan?
Dia just nak tempat nak untuk luar. Dia boleh nak luar je.
Itu sebab orang cakap, sometimes when you have those feelings, cari coping mechanism. Tulis ke, write ke, to just keluarkan apa yang rasa dekat hati.
Nak exitkan. Kau tak di-trap.
Betul.
And then tadi I rasa macam puan Anita cakap, not just empathy, I rasa sympathy pun kena ada. When it comes to
kesian kan?
Kena kesian. Sebab kalau you tak kesiankan that person, how are you gonna
feel for them?
Tapi orang yang mengalami ni biasanya dia tak nak kesian tu tau. Sebab bila kesian dia jadi macam helpless. Macam you are making them feel helpless pula kan. So kita nak empower tau sebenarnya.
But I think I understand your point.
Kesian not kesian like bila
macam
dia bukan macam tu lah.
Not that. It's just that
look at you, that you are going to do something serious.
Yes, that. But not showing it. It's just inside of you. That's sympathy. But empathy is very important.
Okay.
Tapi that feel tu lah, that feeling tu is the empathy part tu.
Imagine you boleh bercakap dengan orang, tapi orang tu tak kesian dekat you. Okay.
And they're just saying words without feeling anything.
Yes.
Wait, feel better though. Hopefully you get better soon. They just like macam it's technically macam invalidating in a different way.
Betul.
And you can feel it kalau orang tu, you know it. Macam you're just saying it for the sake of saying it kan.
Tapi I like Shasha's point tadi bila dia kata at least the person must have gone through a little bit tu kan tadi. Itulah power of peer support Kinu. And that is exactly what Miasa is. Sebab kami terdiri daripada para pejuang kan. Individu-individu yang dah pun mengalami, sedang bergelut. Sebab tu kita faham that is why there's no judgments. Kita tidak menghukum kan. Kita datang daripada a place of tadilah empathy, compassion, kasih sayang dan sebagainya. Jadi barulah orang terbuka. Ini datang-datang dah terus judge. Macam mana orang nak berkongsi?
Lagi-lagi kadang-kadang nurse dekat counter. I pernah tengok dekat Twitter X sekarang, orang macam like, I pergi dekat counter tu pun nurse dah kata dah, kenapa tak semayang ke ni? Stuff like that, I mean,
it's quite common lah.
And we
sad to say
that these spaces are safe space. Imagine kalau kita rasa ahli keluarga takkan dengar, kita nak pergi kat professional dan they do that to us, kita dah langsung tak nak pergi mana. So we all play a collective role.
Of course.
Every single person.
Not everyone is that way, tapi banyak sebenarnya yang berlaku, which is unfortunate, especially kalau orang tu pertama kali nak pergi jumpa doktor, pertama kali nak pergi, that hinders the whole recovery process. Padahal dia dah dalam within help. Tapi because of experiences like that, macam tak payahlah.
I think it's really important to macam at least first start dengan bercakap dengan kawan dulu.
Okay.
And then only you reach out to either doctors or therapists. Or psychiatrists.
Dia berperingkat lah.
Yes, dia tak boleh terus doktor.
Okay.
So doctor, you have to understand that doctor and therapists are two different.
Betul.
Yes.
Kuat tu.
Doctors, like psychiatrists, they would straight away
medication.
And therapists would actually sit down and talk to you. Faham dulu apa yang you going through. And there's no medication.
They cannot prescribe pun kan.
So there's a difference between therapists and also psychiatrists.
Speaking of therapists, dalam episod pertama pun kita dah nampak yang watak Jannah ni dihantar ke kaunselor yang dimain oleh Malia kan. Did you ever have any experience meeting a professional therapist ke counselor in your personal life?
In my personal life, To be really honest, yes, I went to see a psychiatrist dulu, but then macam I cakap tadi, they were straight away prescribe you with medication, and yes, I accept it, I ambil, tapi I rasa macam this is not right because I don't understand what I'm doing now.
Dia macam temporary relief.
I just cannot consume this medication without knowing how to heal myself first, my inner self dulu, faham dulu what I'm going through, process the emotion and whatnot. So that's what I did. I start off with reaching out to my friends, telling what I'm going through. And then second, baru I pergi jumpa my psychiatrist. Then third, my therapist. But then bila I rasa macam I can handle that emotion sendiri, I juggle between seeing my therapist and also my psychiatrist.
Is there any advice for those of them yang mungkin takut, like they saw that scene, terus macam aku teringin sebenarnya nak pergi terapi dan jumpa counselor, because I feel like deep down everyone yang going through mental health issues, because kita tahu kewujudan terapis tu, especially in pop culture, Mak Saleh punya movies apa semua kan, there's always like yang shrink, macam ni lah dia punya set dia, macam like tell me about your day. Daripada kecil bila I tengok, I'm like, what if I need this one day? But when I actually needed it, I was scared to go, because I was like, oh God, what if it's different than the movies? What if I go and I'm macam malu because I kena ceritakan hal family.
It makes it real, you know? It makes it real.
It makes it real. Betul. The moment you go, it's real. Kan? You took that first step back then, jumpa psychiatrist. What can you tell the people out there yang mungkin teringin, especially lepas nampak scene Jannah jumpa counselor?
Okay, my advice would be, tak apa, pergi je, try, why not. I tak boleh nak cakap macam tu jugalah, but then if there's really bukan nak cakap no way out, but you need to take risks in life. It's for yourself. It's for yourself. What I would say is jumpa therapist dulu.
Oh, that's a very good advice. Therapist dulu then baru psychiatrist. Kita berdua terskip kan, kita berdua terpergi psychiatrist kan?
And then bila berjumpa dengan therapist, choose your bukan doktor kan?
No,
choose your therapist.
Psychologist kan you're talking about.
Psychologist,
kita pun we're dealing with humans, and not everyone can understand. Not every therapist could understand.
You are so right.
And so if the first one tak okay, cari lagi. Cari lagi sampai you find the right one that you actually stick to.
Kalau Shasha ada a few times you had to find the right therapist.
Mine was Alhamdulillah
First one. Oh, rezeki.
First one.
Ketiga baru dapat yang cucuk dengan I sampai ke sekarang. I love you, my therapist. Help me a lot. Thank you so much for that, Shasha. Puan Anita, mungkin yang tak pernah lagi pergi counselling session, they are curious, how is the session going to go? Like especially what kind of stuff do I have to share? You know?
Okay, what kind of stuff you have to share tu bergantung sebenarnya, whatever you feel comfortable with. Kalau daripada perspektif Miasa lah, kita tak ada paksaan. Okay, so whatever that you're dealing with at the current moment, please go ahead and share whatever you feel comfortable with. Then once you rasa macam okay, this is the one for me, then go ahead and share lah. Sebab kalau kita share, kita tak comfortable, kita rasa dia invalidated then it doesn't serve its purpose lah pula kan. Tapi kalau kita dah rasa mungkin ada benda-benda symptoms awal dan sebagainya, it's very good to see a clinical psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist to get yourself diagnosed ataupun assessed, clinically assessed.
Psychologist tak boleh diagnose you. Psychiatrist
boleh juga. Dia boleh, tapi dia tak boleh prescribe medication sebab dia orang bukan doktor. Betul? Tapi clinical psychiatrists, they are doctors. Dia orang doktor tapi dia orang specialize in psychiatry. So see either one. So clinical psychiatrist ataupun clinical psychologist. So kita buat penilaian clinical for your mental health, and then dari pada situ they will start with a working diagnosis. Kalau betul lah ada diagnosis kan,
dalam first session tu terus dia boleh buat diagnosis.
Boleh.
First session
boleh dia assess dulu. Kalau you are sharing enough lah. Kalau share tak cukup,
that's true.
Macam mana pula dia
buat?
kita
yang kontor-kontor tak nak cakap the truth sebab tak comfortable lagi.
Tak comfortable ataupun kita takut ataupun kita malu kan? Sebab tu tadi bila Shasha kata jumpa dengan kawan ataupun orang-orang yang kita percaya ini, it's good because then kita dah agak get our feet wet in that sense kan. So kita dah comfortable sikit, dan lepas tu bolehlah mungkin lebih terbuka. Yang paling penting Kinu, talk to someone. Please talk to someone.
What if they are not comfortable to go to a therapist straight away? You know, they feel like to be at a hospital, a psychiatrist, it feels so real, macam Puan Anita cakap tadi kan.
Betul.
Think about your own kids. I met them yesterday. By the way, saya dapat jumpa anak-anak Puan Anita semalam. Semua nak support project Exit tu semalam.
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Who would you prefer for your kids to seek out to, if it's not to you? If they still feel scared, like, I love my mom, I know my mom loves me, but I don't feel comfortable telling my mother.
Betul.
Who would you want them to see first?
Any of my other family members, sebab my family ni sangat terbuka pasal isu-isu kesihatan mental. Obviously lah kan.
Look at the mummy as well.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, it was a journey as well, Kino. Bukanlah tiba-tiba diorang okay je. It was a process kan for everyone. So for me, kalau diorang boleh jumpa my adik-beradik yang lain ke, my mom and dad ke, I think that would be the best. Tapi my son, to be very honest, dia dah pernah jumpa counsellor dah sebelum ni. Tapi it was for a different reason, sebab he has vertigo. Yeah, so he was diagnosed at a very young age, umur 9 tahun, which is very rare as well. So masa tu teruk, sebagai ibu bapa pun, walaupun saya sendiri berjuang dengan penyakit mental, is not easy. So I told him, okay, let's go and see a counsellor. So dia pergi jumpa counsellor, he felt better.
Jadi vertigo ni ada pertalian dengan mental health juga?
Of course Kino, because vertigo punya symptoms, dia punya is specifically Meniere's syndrome. So bila dengan Meniere's ni ataupun vertigo ni, kita world ni macam spinning tau.
Oh my goodness.
Kita buat semua benda pun dia spinning. Duduk spinning,
like random times ke atau biasa?
Meniere's ni dia very frequent.
Oh no.
So dia boleh macam lama.
I mean nak function is difficult on a daily basis, nak bekerja ke, nak buat homework ke apa. Betul. He was only 9
He was only 9. So bila dia kena the attack, dia akan menangis. So kita pun tak boleh nak bantu. So kita belajar buat the exercises dan sebagainya. Lama-lama of course it impacts him emotionally, psychologically. Betul. Walaupun kita sebagai ibu bapa di situ, tapi kita perlu orang lain untuk bantu. We cannot do it alone. Ni nak kena faham.
I didn't know vertigo.
Me too.
Vertigo is very teruk.
Sebab I thought dia macam pening-pening yang macam spacey.
It literally spins.
Pening tu bukan sekejap, sebab dia lama. Kalau kita seminit, jangan seminit 5 saat pun
dah.
Betul. So you cannot walk. What more nak function? Tak boleh. So
what a warrior.
And you cannot sleep, okay? Sebab macam mana nak tidur, because they keep on spinning.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
So yes. So that would be my answer lah.
See, that's the thing pasal mental health. You know, I feel like so many things can be led to mental health issues.
Betul.
Sometimes people might have like a physical illness. You know, for example, let's say someone might be having cancer, for example, right? Benda tu could lead to depression because you rasa helpless, you rasa macam ya Allah, how long do I have dan sebagainya. Jadi pula masalah mental.
Betul. Itu faktor risiko dah di situ. When you have a physical condition, itu
memang
adalah faktor risiko kepada penyakit mental, of course. Because bila kita cancer, kita punya perception fatal, betul? Kita merasakan bahawa kalau aku dapat kanser, aku akan mati. Contoh dia punya outcome tu. Jadi of course dia akan bermula dengan anxiety, anxious, kemudian kita akan jadi murung. So orang yang dalam that category, of course mereka adalah risiko, faktor risiko dia di situ. Bila ada physical conditions, what more orang-orang yang kurang upaya dan sebagainya.
And imagine those yang dah ada mental health conditions and then kena tu pula.
Betul. Comorbidity kita panggil.
Betul. Macam-macam. So orang selalu kata kalau you tengah susah, kita kena cari kekuatan untuk meminta bantuan.
Yes.
What does that actually mean? Maybe you can start with Shasha first. Kekuatan tu, especially in the context of mental health, pada Shasha, adakah kuat untuk bertahan, kuat untuk bercerita pada orang, ataupun untuk seek help professionally?
Okay. For me, personally, I rasa untuk kuat bertahan dulu. Bertahan dulu sebab kita, not everyone tahu pun apa emotion yang dia pernah go to, especially first timer. It was I was introduced to this new emotions yang I tak tahu how to handle it first.
Betul.
So in order to I nak survive dulu, I kena bertahan dulu. Tahan dulu, and then faham apa I rasa, know that emotion, belajar. Ni is all kekuatan diri, nak dengan tak nak je.
Because you have no choice kan?
No choice because dah sampai. Tak boleh nak Andu.
And it's not something you can remove from your body.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And benda tu macam is beyond our control. Kalau nak datang, dia datang aja.
Yes.
Dah sampai.
Yes. And I think those elements are so important in order to macam not at least overcome. At least boleh control sikit.
Yeah.
Bila dah tahu, dah faham and how to control it, how to overcome it, it helps a bit. It helps a lot actually.
Kan?
A lot actually.
Tapi masa you first got introduced to this new emotion, did you immediately know that, okay, this might be a mental health condition?
I had no idea. Because growing up, I was surrounded with positive people, like very happy. My circles are so happy until I remember when I was 25, I hit, nak cakap midlife
Quarter life crisis
lah kan. I remember I was in the toilet. I was just, what's going to happen? Tiba-tiba yang rasa tu sampai, I tak tahu apa rasa tu. I didn't know what that.
Sebab tak pernah.
I tak tahu. I macam, okay, ni sedih biasa je kot. Until it got heavy sampai tiba-tiba ada suara tu. Suara tu sampai. And then I start.
Oh, this is so scary to hear because it happens to a lot of us, including myself. Yeah.
So when I was 25, 26, 27, it got worse. That's why I said masa dekat premis semalam, Jana was me 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago. And it was not easy. So the second year in, I took initiative to actually understand what I'm feeling. Oh, this is not me. You dah tahu tu bukan diri you when you need help.
Yeah.
It's now or never you seek help.
Sebab feeling dia lain kan. You can really tell.
Yes.
You know it's coming.
Stress, you know if kalau it's stress biar. And kadang-kadang I feel like masalah tidur pun could be one of the symptoms awal of mental health. For me, it started with insomnia yang sangat kronik.
Betul.
Jadi memulai macam okay lah, mungkin kita ni manusia. Some nights we can sleep, some nights we cannot sleep. But you just know somewhere in your heart, you're like, tapi ni macam this is a different feeling. And I don't know if you felt the same way, Shasha, but to me it was very scary at first. But you've never felt it.
But it's scary.
You macam, what is going on to me? And everything just like you keluar rumah pun takut. Just takut because you don't know what is this new emotion.
It's just that level of depression, kemurungan tu yang kenapa boleh sampai macam tu?
Yes.
It's just
betul.
You're always looking up, tapi sekarang you look down and you don't know what you're thinking. It's like it's just blank. You're on autopilot.
Numb sebenarnya.
Numb.
With a dark cloud on your head following you. You're just thinking of that kan. Untuk Puan Anita pula, kekuatan tu for you, what does that mean in the context of mental health?
Dia banyak benda sebenarnya, Kino. And I like Shasha punya explanation.
2 in 1. She's 2 in 1.
I know, I'm like Shasha punya elaboration tadi on kita nak kuat bertahan tu. Pada awalnya memang that was it, di awalnya. Sebab kita tak faham, kita kurang ilmu, kita tak tahu what is happening to me. Betul, kita tak tahu sebenarnya. And we don't know what to do next pun. Macam mana kita nak mengatasi pun kita tak tahu. So memang it is about bertahan di awalnya. And to actually cross over to recovery tu, that took willpower, grit, reliance, total surrender sebenarnya for me, total surrender kepada Allah SWT. Barulah kuat untuk kita faham kebergantungan tu hanya dengan dia. It was a long journey for me, I think Shasha 2.5 tahun sebenarnya nak for me was 2.5 tahun nak melalui that process, the rock bottoms. And kita tak boleh bayangkan pada waktu kita dalam
menangis pula. Sorry.
dalam keadaan teruk tu, kita tak akan boleh bayang yang we will get here. You know what I mean? And bila Shasha cakap semalam, I only knew yesterday when I heard you saying that, karakter Jana adalah Shasha 3 tahun yang lepas. Itu satu. Tapi the bigger question is, macam mana Shasha sebenarnya mendekati watak Jana ni? Adakah because itu triggering tau sebenarnya, because you have to relive tu. So it's interesting to know sebenarnya apa yang Shasha buat untuk nak mengharungi 40 hari tu, nak orang kata nak merealisasikan watak Jana tu. I think that would be interesting to know. And your coping mechanisms kan Shasha pada waktu tu.
I pernah share dengan my friends, Kianu pun tahu juga, like it was not easy to bring Shasha back actually. To bring Shasha back because I was actually scared tau. Baca skrip tu I was actually scared. Because like I mentioned semalam masa the premiere, and also I pernah share that Jannah is so familiar. Masa I tengah baca tu, Jannah was so familiar that I was, inside of me was shaking. And bila bila I tengok balik, oh that is me. Bila dah habis script reading, I balik, dalam kepala I macam just how am I gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I was at that phase masa kita orang semua dapat script, I was at that phase ada nak heal dah.
Okay, kat hujung.
Dah hujung. It was almost complete.
And then you had to go back.
I had to sarung balik. And it was 38 days. 38 days of torturing sebenarnya. Sure. Tapi I did it for the sake of I nak sampaikan that message, because I believe that Allah prepkan I awal untuk fahamkan karakter tu. So sebenarnya Alhamdulillah I was made for that character. Sebab Ika pun cakap she couldn't see anyone else doing it. I pun rasa I am happy and I'm proud that Alhamdulillah I'm the one who's doing it.
Was it
survive
liberating
for the whole period? Tak ada macam halfway macam I can't do it. Do you ever have that time macam I'm sorry, this is too much for me?
I ada that time that this is too much for me, but it's not for me dah sekarang.
Okay.
You see, that is key dekat situ, right there. And it's so important, hearing you, Shasha, when you're actually saying this about, for me, living with a mental health condition, and to imagine having to relive that kino. No way, man. I'm not doing that. Even if you pay me $1 million.
Same here.
No way, man.
Because I was so scared of how incapable you were of being in charge of your own body and your own mind.
Betul.
So to go back there, you macam, ya Allah, so I memang respect.
Tapi was it liberating ke? Ke macam mana? At the end tu, macam dekat hujung, bila Shasha tengok yang, okay, I can do this, dah memainkan watak Jannah tu, dah nak kat hujung tu, katalah kan, was it liberating? Macam rasa macam uplifted, you know what I mean? Ke dia macam murung terus?
Betul. It's
so dia memang dark all the way.
It was dark all the way. My only coping mechanism on set was my friends. My friends, my cast, my crews, my director, my producer. They were the only people yang they're my happy pills. Senang cerita. I was Alhamdulillah diorang ada. Hari yang diorang tak ada, I am scared.
Faham?
I'm scared.
Sebab ada orang nak fall back.
Yeah.
I look forward every day to meet them. Every day. And kalau diorang tak ada, I have my makeup artist.
Subhanallah, semua ditarik gitu.
Semua. You're my bestie.
Semua. And like we have extras on set. Extra cast. I would talk to them. Make friends with them.
Wow.
So that's the only time yang I hidup.
Okay, now I know. So Mo was actually lying to me lah.
What did Mo say to you, Puanita?
I asked him, I said, ada antara kasihan ada tak yang ada mental health issues? Oh, I don't know. Padahal ni
dia nak menjaga. Dia kata kan, dia orang yang cerita katanya.
Begitu. Okay.
Pensi.
Dia nak dengar daripada Shasha sendiri.
And what makes this conversation so real is because all three of us have been through this before.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like... Yeah.
Ni macam sesi terapi lah ni.
Ya, macam terapi percuma. Terima kasih, Astro. We've been talking a lot about seeking help, talking to people, be it friends, family, or seeking professional help. Can you both share an experience where seeking help or like talking to someone actually saved you from a very difficult situation? Puan Anita?
Wow, that's a loaded question sebenarnya. Banyak kali sebenarnya kena. Alamak, tak nak tengok tisu ni. Jauh.
I boleh buka kan?
Banyak kali. I think, okay, if I can share yang paling besar lah was when I was going through a very difficult situation. And then one day my husband comes home. Lepas tu dia cakap, you know what, I don't think you're trying to get better. Padahal kita ni rasa macam we're trying so hard dah. Tapi of course, so hard daripada POV kita. Tak ada ilmu, Shasha tak faham apa yang kita lalui. Hilang fungsi dalam kehidupan, tak boleh jaga anak, tak boleh jalankan tanggungjawab. And then suddenly my husband comes home and this is what he says to me. Tetapi dalam POV dia, he knows me. Betul? The reason kenapa dia cakap is because dia tak tahu dah macam mana nak tolong. Dia tak tahu dah, setiap hari dia rasa helpless. How do I help the person that I love? So bila dia cakap macam tu, kita ni rasa macam kena tampar 10 kali. And that was when I truly self-reflected. Malam tu, berapa bulan dah masa tu, I pushed everyone away because dia punya continuity dia adalah, what you're doing is wrong. You are pushing everyone away when you are supposed to pull everyone closer to you, which is exactly true. Sebab I pushed everyone, sebab come on, aku sendiri tak mampu nak jaga diri sendiri. Maknanya I cannot even function. Macam mana nak jaga orang lain? So disebabkan oleh itu, malam tu I pulled my kids closer to me. I hugged them. They slept with me, or I slept with them. Padahal berapa lama ni tak tidur sekali, sebab dengar suara diorang je aku rimas. Jadi exactly POV Jannah dalam projek Exit tu, yang berserabut tu, macam tu lah Kinu, kita rasa kan tak mampu pada waktu tu. Tapi because of that, I brought, pada mula ni of course lah, dalam satu hari tu nangis, marah, semua. Then kita calm diri. Okay, let me just self-reflect here. Then I pulled them closer, dan di situlah the willpower came in. And you know what? This is what I always tell people. Willpower ni sebenarnya, dia macam satu ammo tau. Kita semua ada willpower, tapi we don't necessarily need it, betul?
Yeah.
So at that time, that was when I mobilized my willpower. So dengan willpower ni lah Kinu Shasha, was how I crossed over the recovery. Alhamdulillah. Setelah berapa lama tu duduk macam ni, ataupun macam ni lah kot graf dia kan. Tapi because of what my husband said, and I am truly thankful sebenarnya, because you know what? We must hear the hard things. Bila kita tak buat the hard things, bila kita tak nak dengar the hard things, itu yang menyebabkan kita stuck and kita tak boleh gerak ke depan. That is why I always say this. When you see your loved one struggle, of course empathy, tapi tell them the truth. Sebab kalau tak, susah sebenarnya kita nak bergerak.
You're not even helping them.
You're not helping them. You might, pada masa tu mungkin susah nak buat, tapi they will understand. So tell the truth. That's why I said earlier, engage in difficult conversations. Penting ni sebenarnya. So communicate your needs. You must meet halfway tau Kino. Kita kena meet halfway. So sebab tu dekat Miasa, kita perjuangkan bukan caregiver, tapi care partner. Care partnering. You see, sebab bila caregiver, kita give. Tapi bila care partner, we are together in this. We meet halfway. We learn. You deepen the understanding, and you build solid relationships. And this is what we want.
That is so beautiful. Oh my God.
When you shared that, I think we had my friend when I was in like a very severe stage. I was in the car with her, and my mind was everywhere until dia cakap, Syah, kau kena ingat, macam ni kau nak tolong orang kalau kau sendiri pun tak okay. And it stick. And I reflect balik macam Paranita juga, I reflect balik macam mana aku nak tolong mak aku kalau aku pun sendiri tak okay. How? If I'm not in a good state, betul, macam mana I nak tolong orang? Sama macam bringing this character Jannah, macam mana I nak buat kalau I tak faham?
Betul. So that hence why the question tau. Sebab bila when I watch the episodes, walaupun I'm not a pelakon, tapi I know even the best of actors pun bukan senang nak, especially when it comes to mental health. Kalau benda lain tu bukan I'm minimizing the other roles, tapi role lain ni berbeza tau, because mental health condition ni is an invisible illness. Kalau you tak pernah lalu, susah nak bawa watak tu sebenarnya. I actually shared with Keanu that masa I preview episode 1, episode 2, I shared with Keanu that I honestly rasa I tak berlakon. The only series yang I rasa I tak berlakon. I tak rasa I berlakon, Keanu. Tu I. Sebab every time like the reviews that I get, I dapat from orang-orang yang dah tengok, especially people in Astro yang dah tengok kan, they came to me and macam, oh, I didn't know you can do that. I jam tau bila dia orang cakap tu, do what? That's me. Tapi yelah, dia tak, not everyone knows me kan. So I just senyum. Oh, okay. And also apa yang kuat adalah bila Amy Kimberly memainkan watak Amy, bila dia datang as your supporter, I like how because of her lived experience is also why she's able to support Jannah well tau. Yes. Sebab kalau Amy tak melalui, dia pun tak boleh. She can support, tapi dia punya strength of supporting tu tak akan of that level. So I really like how kuat sebenarnya Kimberly punya role dalam Exit is actually everything tau. Because macam contohlah kalau kita ambil High Council Naim Daniel as Ayam, dia yang menguatkan the whole council, project council. Sama juga dengan project Exit. Kimberly punya watak dia sebenarnya semua, tapi Kimberly because dia membantu Jannah, Amy membantu Jannah, so dekat situ kita nampak kekuatan tu sebenarnya. And the moment bila Amy cakap things like, walaupun kita belum masuk kepada episod tu, tapi bila dia cakap benda-benda macam, kau ingat aku tak pernah lalu, kau ingat aku okay, macam aku tak struggle. So bila that I think that was so key sebenarnya dalam tu untuk semua orang faham.
Dia cakap kau ingat kau seorang
je. Yes, saya rasa macam tu. Sorry dialog tak hafal. Ada skrip. Betul, tapi that part was really key sebenarnya untuk kita. Dia macam puzzle pieces kan, yang kita dapat.
Kita pun wouldn't be here right now talking like this if we didn't survive the hardest parts before this juga.
Betul.
You know, I think kalau kita nak ingat balik macam Puan Anita, how many years ago was your hardest?
10 years ago, man. Decade long. Yes.
For Shasha, what? 3 years ago?
3 years ago. 4 years.
For me pun roughly around. For you, 5 years. Oh. 5 years.
3 years, baby. Lagi.
I pun dalam
Alhamdulillah.
5 years ke belakang for me as well.
Alhamdulillah, macam at least sekejap tau tu rasa. Dia laju. Dia laju. 3 years for me.
3 years lama tu.
Laju sekarang. Kalau masa kita go through it every day, felt macam 1 year kan?
Tapi tengok balik.
Jangan 1 year, 10 years.
Tengok balik macam ada orang lagi lama daripada kita.
Of course. Don't benchmark. Okay, ni penting do not benchmark your recovery process. I think that would, because semua orang berbeza. Environment orang berbeza kan. Ada orang 6 bulan, orang setahun, ada orang 3 tahun, ada orang
jadi jangan invalidate. Contoh macam let's say macam, engkau still struggling, how come aku 3 tahun dah keluar, like never say stuff like that kan.
No, you know what the other harm of it is, because when I was struggling, I had someone tahu yang told me, I went through it 6 months. And I used that 6 months as my benchmark.
Oh my god, same. Wanita sama. I macam, kalau kenapa I tak recover lagi pada dia dah. Betul.
Itu benda yang please do not do that. Oh my god.
And don't even ask people kot kan. Don't even ask them macam.
No, you can ask. Bila you ask, you rasa lega. You rasa lega. Bila you tahu 6 bulan, you lega kan. You tunggu dan 6 bulan.
Sikit lagi.
Tapi 6 bulan tu, hello, aku tak baik-baik lagi.
You tak boleh expect that it's the same for you.
Yes. Sebab semua orang berbeza. Ujian masing-masing berbeza.
Macam I shared yesterday, I hope Project Exit ni ditonton oleh parents lah, especially ibu bapa. Sebab gila ada I pernah ada my friend yang macam parents sendiri yang cakap, apa ni, depression apa, sakit apa, pesakit apa ni, because they don't understand. Some parents are sebab the age gap and
like good for you that you've never been through it before, but at the same time just have empathy lah. Kalau tak faham pun empathize lah sikit kan.
Or keep silent.
Or just keep silent.
Suspend your judgment because you tak tahu kan. Kita ni kalau tak tahu suka nak cakap macam-macam benda kan.
Tapi I also faham like orang, bukan nak cakap orang berumur, orang yang dah berumur, diorang tak tahu, diorang nak tolong
traditional lah,
but they never had what we have, like all these
diorang tak
awareness
tahu cara dia cara dia macam mana.
Niat tu baik, comes from the right place kan.
Sebab maybe diorang punya generation cara
apa saya tunjuk sini generation
I pakcik I 1951
generation maybe generation diorang cara diorang diberi kasih sayang begitu. Cara parents diorang tunjuk yang diorang concern begitu,
maybe,
dan dia dibawa turun sampailah sekarang isu ni ketengahkan how.
That's why we have to come in to break that cycle for the future generations to come.
And I rasa is I would love it. I mean, I would really be happy kalau macam syllabus ni lah diajar.
Sudah tentu
dekat dalam not just primary, secondary,
like as a compulsory subject to be learned.
Kan? Sikit pun tak apa, basic. Maybe primary basic, and then secondary maybe kena belajar lagi sikit before go to the real world.
That is so true actually. Emotional
it's very
education.
Important. Sebab kita orang tak ada kan, time kita orang tak ada, we don't know.
Never.
Kita keluar
The only people who learn about these things are those that study psychology.
Yes.
So what about the rest of us who are equally depressed every once in a while dan sebagainya kan? So itu harapan Shasha, which is the older generation to watch it and learn something from it as well, and to empathize more with the younger ones. But Anita pula, your hopes for this show for everyone watching?
Of course, I come from a more safety angle lah. Is to be very cautious as you're watching. Kalau boleh jangan tonton seorang-seorang lah, especially kalau kita sendiri ada isu-isu kesihatan mental, because some parts, to be very honest, can be potentially triggering. I think for me ada 2 episod yang I rasa very triggering, is episod 3 dengan episod 5. Because of some elements in there yang sebenarnya kalau dia a bit harmful juga, so tengok dengan caution, be prepared as you are watching, tapi all in all it can be very beneficial, especially for people that really do not understand but want to learn more, because it is the truth of what people are going through. And I also understand sometimes untuk orang visual ni penting, tapi untuk orang yang lebih rentan ni can be harmful lah. So just be very mindful as you are watching as well. InsyaAllah.
If any scenes they might find a bit triggering tu apa, just take a step back kejap.
Betul.
And then proceed with the next.
Ataupun kita boleh
jangan
skip.
Tak tengok terus, okay? Kena tengok.
Atau boleh skip sikit. Skip pun boleh juga.
I would say don't forget to breathe.
Oh my god, that's a good point. You might be wondering kenapa 6 episod je. 6 episod pun susah nak bernafas. Dapat 10 lagi tak apa.
I rasa 6 tu pun dah banyak sebenarnya kini. It's a lot, because every episode dia macam dia build up, lepas tu dia lepas tu dia jalan lagi, lepas tu dia ada benda begitu.
Wonderful. Thank you very much Puan Anita dari Miasa. Thank you Shasha Abdul. Dah tak tahu nak tengah cakap dengan Jannah ke dengan Shasha. It's really like 2 in 1 right now, you know? She is Jannah, Jannah is Shasha. Jangan lupa untuk saksikan Project Exit, okay, Astro Originals kita yang terbaru di Astro Premier dan juga di Astro Go. And of course, please seek help if you need any help from your family, from professionals, from your closest friends. You are not alone in this battle, okay? And of course, kalau anda nak info lebih lanjut lagi dan untuk mendapat pertolongan ataupun informasi sahih mengenai mental health, please head over to gempak.com/project. We'll see you guys in the next episode to talk more about Project Exit. Bye everybody. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.